And one have a huge knife. He was robber. He said, bring money, open the safe. And the sword was, the big knife was in my stomach.
He put it like this.
He put it like this. And then I said, God, I don't have. Since came to Australia, I never been in the kitchen cooking. This is your kids. There's nothing better than learn how to look after your kid.
Hey guys, this is a special podcast because we are on a cruise right now. Welcome back to the #1 podcast in Australia. Guys, again, make sure to hit the link in the description for Fanatics merch. As you guys can see, I am wearing a Golden State merchandise that you guys can buy once you hit that link. So Dad, back again with you. How does it feel?
Thank you, man. I feel good. Keep enjoying to be part of this family podcast. And we're enjoying today, and today is very special. We are on the cruise, which is P&O cruise.
P&O cruise. So guys, we have been vlogging, so you guys are gonna check on my main channel, but we've ended up on the Pride cruise, which is funny, the story of how we ended up here, but we are having a great time, and it's more time for conversation. So
yeah, and we're enjoying it for this morning because it's a very good experience, especially to have the first podcast and you're enjoying the cruise. So now we're in our ship is moving around, so this is the hotel is moving around, and this very good experience. We've been doing this is the third time for our cruise now to do it, and we podcast it. It's good. We are cool. Here with the family, my wife and Rose and Ian, and we're having good time.
I don't think number one, I don't think anyone's ever done a podcast on a cruise before, guys.
We got to figure out.
Yeah.
We got to search.
We may be creating history right now. The first podcast ever done on a cruise, and I like it. It's really cool. Like, it's so dope. Like, it's like a hotel. We enjoying ourselves. So Dad, with this episode, I wanted to talk, obviously we had the episode with culture, we had Mom talk about her background. Let's go back to when we first moved to Australia and that experience as immigrants. So take us back. What made, we'll talk from your side. What made us come to Australia?
So from my side, it's different because and always everything starts with background. So my background was born in Rwanda, and 1994. So we have a war, so which has made me move to go to Kenya, and then from Kenya is how to end up to Australia.
Why Australia?
So the reason Australia, as I say, I was lucky to have met my wife Rose because he have relative in Australia. So his brother used to live in Australia. So for me, I didn't know anything about Australia until I have met your mom, Rose.
How was your English at that time?
My English was not good. Was in Rwanda, I speak French, but mainly even the French I never speak well. So I was more a local boy who born in Rwanda. We thought we go to live in Rwanda for our life, but life changed. We go to Kenya, and then also to live in Kenya, it was not that easy as Rwandese. So I could get documentation, I could get the status to live there, even though I was married to Rose. So for me, I was looking a good place to go to live, because all my other brothers, everything there, everybody went to Europe.
Did you not think to go to Europe?
Yeah, somehow I think to go to Europe, but later, because Rose, she didn't like to go to Europe, because most of our friends, people grow up together, all were in Europe. So for me, I was told it was okay to go to Europe, but Rose, she didn't like to go to Europe.
What about Australia? What about America?
Yeah, even America, we thought about it, but somehow, I don't know, Rose, she was preferring always to come to Australia. So for me to move here, it was for my survival. Yes, so it's different. I didn't sacrifice anything because I didn't have life anyway. So for me, I'm not those parents that say, I sacrificed to come to Australia. I was even lucky because I was in the package as me as you, because if you're parents, you can't get status in a country in Africa. Even though I was married to Rose, I could be able to have a status to live in Kenya, even though we were married legally. So that's why that inequality wasn't there. But now things has changed, so you could still get status when you married a woman. So imagine how it's funny. So if that times a Kenyan man marry a Rwandese, so that lady, that woman, she could become a Kenyan. But if a man from a different country married a Kenyan woman, he was not allowed to become the citizen.
Yeah, really?
See, that's what we call equality. But now this is good. Things has changed.
Wow. And okay, so that's interesting. So okay, so we end up coming to Australia, 2 kids, mom's pregnant with Emmanuel. How was it like in your whole life? You've grown up seeing black people everywhere, so now you come and you see, was there even any black people when we first arrived? Did you see any black people?
Hey guys, just real quick, I know you're enjoying the video, we're going to get back to that, but this video is sponsored by Fanatics. Now guys, the reason I've partnered up with Fanatics is not only do I have custom drip, I look fly, the second thing is I get to save money, and that's what I want to give back to you guys. It's always about giving back to the people who come in and support. So guys, you guys can get awesome merch, NBA, NFL, all type of drip at Fanatics. Hit the link in the description. Now guys, there is deals every single day, 65% off, free shipping. The more you wait, the more deals are going to go missing by you, and this is your chance to really save money and get drip at such a good price. As soon as you finish watching this video, click that link, head over to Fanatics and go copy some merch right now. All right, let's get back to the video.
No, there were not many. There were some group, Tanzania group, but on the street you could see anyone. But as I say, for me, there is the thing I really wanted. I want to have a safe place. In Kenya, it was not safe. To come a place where it was safety, there was no what about any war identification. So for me, it was a very good to move. I never think about color because it was mean anything.
But was it still a culture shock, like just seeing now all white people like everywhere?
Yes. See, the culture shock even not start on the street. It start from the family. So because since came to Australia, I never been in the kitchen cooking. So now when we came, your mom, she was pregnant. A few days, she went to hospital. Oh, and I look around, I didn't know when to go to cook. I didn't know even what to go to eat. So that the day, the culture changed. That the day, it started in your house.
In your house.
Yes, you have to learn how to cook. She was in hospital calling her, say, you do cook rice like this and you put the things there. So see that the change for everything.
So wait, before that, in Africa, you never been in the kitchen?
Never.
So okay, fast forward, you come to Australia now.
Yes.
And mom's away, so you're calling her, what should I cook for
Yes,
the boys?
how we go to eat for the night, me and you and then in Ian. So that culture shock, that's how you think, oh wow, see, that is still, you know, that now you wonder, wow, how is that? It was a simple thing to cook, but I never know how to cook.
Wow.
And that we call it culture.
How did you learn how to cook?
So since we talk there, and then I start doing slowly, and family could help us. But cooking is easy things to learn. Yeah, because you have to eat. You don't even to learn it. It's a must.
In Australia now, you're raising two kids, mom's pregnant. What was that experience like? What were some other culture shocks for you? Like, you know, because you have to find work,
yes.
You have to do these things.
Yeah, so that it's a survival, but especially for me, when also my English, I have to learn language. English communication was hard. Only things we been lucky to have is a family which welcome us, you help us meet to do things.
Integrate.
So we meet, integrate. So I think to came to Australia, you don't want to immigrate to your people coming from. You meet in general society. I think that will make it easier for me. So because at least when we meet our church, we meet Mr. Brown and his family and the church congregation, so they were there. So it made a little bit change for us, but you go somewhere, you can't communicate, people talk to you, and you say yes, and you didn't even understand what they say, something like that. Taking the kids to school, 2 kids, walking to school, come back, and I was like, I get a job working post office.
So that was your first job?
Yeah.
Post office.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get your first job?
It didn't take long. So at the wrong when mom came from the hospital, everything's there. Yeah, I can't remember, but it didn't take just long. It was just 3 hours. I was waking up 6 a.m. morning, 3 hours. I go, come, find you are ready and take you to school. It was good.
What were you doing in the post office?
Mail sorter.
So you didn't have to speak to people?
No. Just numbers put there, the suburb, everything's there. Just 3 hours. It was good. 3 hours you come, take you to school, I come, relax, and then I pick up from your school.
So that was your day?
Yeah, that was my day.
And what was mom doing?
Just with Manuel, crying every day.
Like back home, were you working? It's not like you were working a job. You didn't have to take kids to school.
Yes, you didn't do anything there in Kenya. In Kenya, you could take them to school. I used to drive here and to go to school, but nothing else you do. So you don't have anything to do with kids. The maid, they are there. They finish. They cook. So, but some things you learn. You learn how to change nappy for your child for the first time, and you feel it's not your job. You feel, oh, why do I need to change nappy? Because he never did to other one. So that is culture change. But wow, changing nappy, put him in the plum. You can't leave him anywhere. You don't have somebody to live in the house. Everywhere you walk with your kids.
With your kids. Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you can't do anything until you learn how the system works. But it become much easier.
How long were you at the post office for?
So at the post office, maybe I worked there maybe like 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. Yes.
3 to 4 years. And it was decent salary?
No, that times it wasn't, but also we get some support from the government. So that is why, again, this is Western countries. There is a lot of support. They know what family is. So if you can't get family support from the government, so you can't get much. So you remember the focus wasn't even just about money, it's just to raise the kids, because sometimes it could be struggle to get time, full time, leave mom home by herself. It's going to be too much stress. Coming home 8 hours working, it's so hard.
And by the way, guys, sorry if you guys hear any kind of background noise. We are on a cruise, so there's other people here. We have mom being our bodyguard, guiding people. So Dad, this is interesting because it's like, again, a lot of things that I was not aware about, of us coming to Australia, because we're just kids, we're going to school. I do remember early memories of you taking us to tennis when we were young. How old were we at that age?
So the time is just the first you came, I think you were 7. Yeah, so maybe at that times it was around 9-10. So that's the first sport we tried to put in it.
Tennis.
So, yeah, tennis. Because when I was grew up in Rwanda, tennis was like a classic. It was a sport where for wealth family people, because I remember. So I have very good friends. We grew up together. And they were our neighbor, so their name called Muvunyi. So we used to I used to see their parents you'd like to go tennis, and they say, wow, this is the game I've got to put to my kids. So and that is why I put you to tennis, and it was good. So that is why we started tennis, and it was not far from where we live, and it was this guy who was teaching youthing there. Yeah, it was good.
So what was your next job after the post office?
So after post office, now I went to driving now. So I started doing driving. So I did a few days delivering pizza, and then I stopped it, and then I went to start driving trucks now. So transport.
So that's what I'm saying. Was that like just even working those jobs and things like that? Was it a hard adjustment, or was like, this is what I have to survive, this is what I need to do to pay the rent?
Yes, for me, because I don't have a professional background, so I was not what about whatever I'm doing. So when I grew up in Rwanda, when I finished, so I used to work for my dad business, and I remember, so what I was doing the first time I finished high school, I was driving my father's pickup, so to go to bring goods and then bring it there. So I think transport was in mind since I was young, since I was leaving my father. Even I started driving, doing transport, even though I didn't have the license. So my father was a merchandise, so he knew what to know entrepreneurship, to do things there. So I pick up, send the goods, come back, everything there. So I did work with my father. And then also in Kenya, I was trying to do the same things, business, transport, but the time in Kenya, at least I have driver who do that for me. So to come here to do that, for me, it wasn't a big.
It wasn't a big deal.
Yes.
And then, like, let's say you're talking about you're driving trucks, right? How is that experience in terms of, because you're mostly around Aussies? Was there anything like, even like certain comments that would, because they're not used to maybe seeing a black person? Was there anything that like you would have to get used to?
Yes, no, because as I say, and the type of working in that, it's labor job. I think when you do labor job as Africans, it doesn't make a difference, because the people you are working, they're the same as you anyway, and the most sometimes they see you when you're labor, they think, oh, that is your job anyway, so they think there's much better you can do. But for me, as I say, you drive by on, and there was no any exchange, any communication between. No, you go there, you park your thing there, they park for you, thing there, you trust there, you go. So there was no much interaction or communication for anything. There was no purpose which we could make as in an argument or anything there. So I realized in Australia, it's more job for immigrant. So there is no what people could call ratios, everything there, because most of the immigrant anyway. So there was not the white community in there. Before I start, I stay home. Yeah, so I can correct. So I stay home. So after Rose come from baby, so I stay home. Yeah, I stay home for 4 years. Rosie was working
4 years.
Yes, looking after you.
You were stay-at-home dad.
Yes, I was stay-at-home dad.
Was the government paying?
Because your mom, she was working with Qantas. So that's how we choose that another culture change. So the other culture change is, may a man have to work. But I was looking, why didn't to go to struggle working more? And if my wife could get a good job, so that is a simple decision. So, but other people say, no, I am a man, I have to work because African is what they say. No.
So mom was working at Qantas.
Yes.
She was going and you were just like taking us to training.
Yes.
Were we playing football at that time?
Yes. Now you change. See now what happened now after tennis, you didn't like it, so we changed, and then we meet the Tanya. So Tanya they introduced to soccer and start playing Sansusi. So there was no way I've got to be working full times, taking to school, all those things there. So, but I was still, I remember we stayed longer working post office that times because also everybody went to sport.
So you
so my job, it was morning, go work post office, come back home, take you to school, and then pick you to school, and then later go to the training.
Wow.
Yes, full time.
So you were full time, like kind of stay at home dad.
Yes,
you worked in the morning, but you know staying at home, and then you were looking out. And mom was. That's interesting because, like you said, most, especially African, it's the husband. I got to be the one who's. But wow.
Yeah, and it create me. That's how I create a very connection with Emmanuel, because I learned how to change his nappy. I learned how to give him the bottle, cooking for him, everything's there. So that is good learning experience. That is the cool culture, or is just learning experience in life. Yes. And it give a very connection. You give connection with your kids. But before I thought, I can do this. This is not a job for men. But until you get used to it, until you realize this is your kids. There's nothing better than learn how to look after your kids. See, before we thought, this is not my job. This is things that
the women's job,
changing
nappies. Because back home in Africa, you have people to do it.
Yes.
So when you felt you being hands-on because you had no other choice, it gave you a connection with, let's say, Emmanuel, because you were there changing his nappies and doing all these things.
And the good another things that you know your kids exactly, the behavior, the things since you are young, because every day you are with them, and they realize, wow, this is what our parents have missed. Because we never see our parents when we are engaged, or 5 or 6, never. They are business, they are busy, so you are there with working things there. You never see your father until late evening. You never see, but for you to see kids 24/7, that is culture change. But you see, it creates some things nice to learn. It brings value to the family. You know what family means. Both ways works. It's the same. If you work too many hours, you feed your family. Of course, you know the value of the family. So again, it's the same. If you are sitting there, you change your child nappy, you take them to school, you take them to whatever the activity they go to do. So both wives working as a family. So there's nothing ashamed in both of them.
And I think like what kids understand more is time. So and it's interesting. I like how you said that's maybe what your parents missed, was that being able to spend time, like that type of valuable time with your kids.
Yes. Yeah, and you see, when I used to go back home holiday, we go back holiday with Manuel, everything's there. You go places, people see you are carrying your child and they look at like this, what kind of this man is. And then later, if they found you from Australia, they say, oh, they're understandable, because that things they can understand how you go take your child in public ways. There's a place we went for swimming, they call Carnival.
In Kenya?
Yes, in Kenya, Nairobi. And I was changing Emmanuel's nappy. All my friends, they were just laughing. They couldn't understand why it could be happening like that. But you see, they don't understand that connection. They don't understand that feeling. And I hope that the things we have to change in our society. To be part of your children, not feel ashamed to change nappy for your kids.
Because I think it's true, because like you said, like a lot of men, we feel that's not our job. Like, of course, you may have a child. I've never had children before, but like you see, those things you leave it to the mother. But I think, being hands-on with your child, because I think I remember you'd come and we would walk from. We used to pick us up from school. We'd walk home. We would have talks.
Yes. You know everything the day the kid they do. The behavior, you see it again every day, because every single day you are with them.
Do you think someone can have that balance of, let's say if I'm a father and I have to hustle, I'm doing this, I'm playing football, this and this, and still having that? Is it about me finding that balance of spending time with my kids, even I don't have much time because I have to go out there and hustle and grind?
Yes, you can't lose time to look after your children. That's what people keep saying. You got to make sure you have that time with them. It could be 2 hours, it could be an hour each day. But don't leave your day just for children, just for maid or anything there. Every day have at least an hour
spending time with your children.
You make a lot of difference. Your children have to see you every day. Yes, we used to feel, oh, this is not our job. No, it's our job, and it's the best job ever. It's something always feel, especially when you see growing everything there. You see now everything there. That's why you can see it will be much easier to sit down. We do like this podcast. It's much easier to talk with Manuel the way you talk to Ian. It's much easier. So that relations comes sit when you are young. Yeah. So most parents miss that young age. Yes. Of course, it's fine. You see, you are working, you are busy. The life is also the same. But my secret is there's a missing.
So you think
connection.
That's why we have the relationship we have, is because you've always been in our ears.
Yes.
I'll still remember, and this is something small, but even like going to training, having talks like, hey Eve, like even as it's something like football, maybe you could have done this better, or those certain things like as kids will always remember.
Yes, and the good thing activity we did when you were kids, which it was make our life standard make much easier. 3 boys love one sport. It was much easier, so it give me discipline, because you're playing soccer and you are good. And I remember to take you to training. The thing also I learned and take you to training is to be on time. So since I came to Australia at that times, I never good on time. Late to everything. Late, but when I start, the coach, he's waiting for me, the boys, to be on times. They think, we're starting getting late. Sometimes you're tired, you can't go there. The coach said, no, man, you have to be consistent with the kid. So that now we put the times on it.
So it also taught you discipline in yourself, because also we were good players.
Timing. I learned a lot of timing since I came to Australia. I used to be late for everything. The time we go to be late to school, they say no. You have to be here. 3 o'clock is 3 o'clock.
I think this is it's good, because I think it's good advice. Like even for me, as I said, that because kids don't understand. They don't understand money. They don't understand the house. They only understand time. That's
time.
Their currency. Children.
Yes. So, but again, when you grow up, or also I realize you can't measure the time Yeah, so when you grow up, because I put all the times there instead of going to work, maybe busy things there, so you lose maybe financial something there, so you forgot the time. So if you are lucky to have time with kids and to make it also financially, that is a bonus.
That's the balance.
Yes, that is the balance.
The balance.
Yeah, but that balance, it doesn't work for most people.
Especially immigrants. You know, you're coming. You have to put food on the table.
Yes,
you
have to put food on the table. You have to pay rent, and sometimes it takes you time to get the job you like. You know, it takes your job, your professional job. So see that the stress. You know, you are doing a job you don't like it, because you have to put the food on the table. You see, that what called sacrifice for me sometimes is, you know, as I say, your mom sacrificed to you because she was working professionally to leave her job. But for me, I didn't sacrifice because also I need to have life to move to.
And you know, I think the reason why your message is very important, and why a lot of even immigrant fathers, not even people, whoever is important to hear this, is because even now, the day that we're going into, social media is raising children because they don't spend time with their parents. They're either at school, the parents are working, so they're always on their phones. They're at school, so they really get that they don't get that much time with their parents. At least back in our days, we didn't have social media and stuff like that.
Yes.
But nowadays, social media is raising children. You know, schools, So I think your message is very important.
Yes. So what now? It's more distraction. But you see, this again, social media is good, but if you use too much, it becomes distraction.
But that's what parents do nowadays, because sometimes parents, it's hard maybe with dealing with kids and this, so you give them the phones, you give them the iPads, just, you know, kind of, that's what's happening nowadays. You know, all parents are not spending that type of quality time with their children.
Yes, but you see, where now, so I realize now the difference, which is make easily, especially for young family. So you could be with the kids, young kids together, but because sometimes the technology will come easy, if that times you give the child the phone, he's watching cartoon, you could have your time to clean up, to do whatever you do things there, because he's sitting there busy. So that things we miss it. Yes. So the time you used to be on TV, you have to front of TV and you have to sit there together, everything there. So it was hard much to control. But these times the social media, the good things is, like I know now when I drive kids, you give them iPad, you give everything there. They're kept busy, you can still do something else around with them. Yeah. So it's not bad, but it's for me, I think it's good helping. So as long as you are there, you have to pick them to school, you do activity for them, you do everything with them. So technology, it doesn't change anything, but it helps us to be a bit, you know, sometimes it's good to be distracted with something else.
Something so they can. So what I want to ask you is, what has been your biggest challenge raising 3 boys? Come from Africa, what's been the biggest challenge? What's been the hardest thing for you? So as a father, as a man? Yeah,
as a man, as just from Africa, is just to have not to do that financial as way you should be feeding them to follow it up. So so that is the hardest thing to do things there, because normally you want to grow up and then straight away to go in different professionalism. So that things, it didn't work straight away, because normally say, like for me, when I grew up, my father was so successful, he was so a businessman. So, and I was say, look, I need that, but I could get that. So, and which is also, it's good. So the boys that go to found themselves how to become what they want to be. But sometimes as a parents, you feel, oh no, I should have made more money. But it's just terms of money. But otherwise, I don't regret the times to raise you up. The connection, yes. So the connection is more important than what I've been doing financially.
So you found a big challenge was, okay, I'm spending time with them, I'm here for these kids, but it was more that financial aspect. Like my dad was an entrepreneur, me, I'm working, I'm driving these trucks maybe, or I'm doing these jobs. I remember you used to work at a petrol station.
Yeah, sometimes also casual.
Was that like casual or something?
Yeah, it was casual, because also it was good, because they are now could work at night, take you to school, do everything there. Yeah, that was correct. So from post office, I went to Cartex. and also calls. So because that times I was doing night shift, so which was good also, take you to school, take you to the game, everything there, come home, and then I go night shift and everything.
Quick backstory. Didn't one event happen that someone came in to rob the petrol gas station?
Yes, so you see that what I'm saying, life is everywhere, is interesting. You know, one day I was working, man. See, because it started around 11, and I was just customer service in petrol station, Waterloo, Shell. Man, I was serving client, and I could see people running out there, crowding there, and the door open. And I was wondering what they're doing. Man, it just came straight away, and one have a huge knife, and I thought, wow, it was robbery. He said, bring money, open the safe. And the sword was, you know, the big knife was in my stomach.
He put it like this.
He put it like this, and then I said, God, I don't have the number, I don't have the thing. You know, I was so scared.
Really?
Yes.
Were you?
Yes, man, I was thought everything's gone. Luckily, and because you have a store which was packed with cigarette, and somebody called, come, and then he went away from me, goes to the cigarette, and then they got cigarette, and I have client, and the client also was standing in front of me and was shocked what was going on, and other people, hey.
So hold on, so he's coming, give me everything.
Yes,
give me all the money.
I opened the steel, the tool, and I give him the till, and I give him the money.
Oh, you gave it to him?
Yes, but he wanted me to open the safe, but I didn't have the code.
How much did they keep money in the safe?
Yeah, they keep money, all money in the safe. So,
wow.
And then they take the money back. I was so scared. And then luckily then they ran away. And then I called the police.
Call the police. Do a police report.
You see that the life is everywhere. Because when I live in Australia, I thought this thing never happened. But it happened to me. That's another experience you learn. You know? Yeah.
That must have been a crazy experience again. Like you're here, you're working, you know, just trying to pay your rent.
Yes. And you see,
you
look, I live in Australia. There's something you never think you could face. You see in the news, but everything you see in the news, petrol station will be robbed, and you work there. You never think it's going to be to be you.
And I remember as kids, like just seeing that story, like just you coming and telling us, it's just like, that's a crazy experience.
Yes.
So,
and that time straight away, I was lucky. It was, I think, around December, but I can't remember which year. And then I went home just to have holiday in Kenya, just relaxing.
And I think like the good thing as well with, you know, being in that position, being an immigrant, working, being in Australia, was you guys were still being able to travel with staff travel. Would you say, like, how would you compare Australia to other places around the world, especially when it comes to raising a family?
So to raise a family in Australia, it's good. It's more. So the Australian society is based on family oriented. I can see, even though it's hard everything there, but it's family oriented. You know, you live close to school. The working between the school, the sport, everything there. Everything's family oriented, and the family has to be both parents. Yes, some in Africa, family is one parent. But in Australia, family had to be two parents. Yeah. And sometimes that found the single mother here, they work hard. Everywhere single mother work hard. But in Australia, it's another level to work hard. And also back home, also single mother, it's hard also for financial purpose. You know, if you are one, it's a different. But again, sometimes home, somebody will think family is just for one person to look after. But in Australia, family, it's both. Every decision, it's both the mother and the father. Yeah. Even to buy a car, even what to eat, everything's conversation between. But back home, I buy a car, I don't need to ask Rose. You know, she found the car is there, so you wonder what is there. But here, it's hard. Everything had to communicate. You know. Yeah.
I think this was a good conversation, guys. You know, we're here in the cruise. We're about to go get lunch. We got a couple more interviews to go, a couple more episodes for you guys. We really appreciate the support, guys. Keep heading over, like, share, subscribe. I think this was a great conversation. I think on fatherhood and just, you know, that integration coming into Australia, a lot of people can learn from this conversation. So I'm glad that you guys can watch this. Guys, we're creating history. The first podcast ever done on a cruise, man. The first podcast ever. You feel me? So that's what we're about, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Go cop your merch at Fanatics, guys. There is a limited sale, guys, so you don't want to miss out on the sale. The link is in the description. I'm just trying to, well, here at Rabasha Family, we're just trying to give you guys the best things possible, innit?
Yes, yeah. And also I could put something there to experience this lifestyle in cruise. It's so nice.
As a family.
As a family. This is a family. This is a hotel is moving. You know, pay and do, go there, Google it. It's beautiful. It's clean. There's many activities there. Everything you see is there. Please enjoy your life there. Bring your family. Everything's you become on one goals. Look after your family.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about family and enjoying, and that's why we started this podcast. It was like, how can we as a family just talk with each other, father and son, brother, you know, whatever it is. Like, how can we enjoy each other's company but put it out to the world and just spread that family vibe to everyone, you know, while we can still add value to people's lives. So hit that like button. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Get ready for the next video, and if you haven't checked out the last video, check it out here. Subscribe, and we're gonna see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Thank you.
Blah.